of my feet, barely touching the ground. Gravity's becoming cloudy now. Nothing is holding me back anymore. In truth, only one thing would. It always was and is and will always be my choice alone that ever could. For what I choose to surround will either free or bound, and the choice for either one is within me found. Here I stand now, light-footed, the very edge of the world. I'm unchained, untethered, the tip of my toes, barely touching the ground. Gravity's losing me now. One by one, they all fell away, everyone and everything. During those times I felt my life was a joke, all areas just more suffering. My hands were burning and my feet were on fire, 'cause of what and who I held and where I long stood. But as I breathed my last sigh, raised my gaze to the sky, I ascend now within to my good. Here I stand now, light-footed, the very edge of the world. I'm unchained, untethered, the tip of my toes, barely touching the ground. Gravity's losing me now. Here I am now, lighthearted, no longer part of the world. I'm reclaimed, reconnected. The sign of the ground can no longer be found. Gravity has no claim on me. Gravity,
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this world, this great, big world under the dome, the Daikin Dome, the Daikin Dome, the Daikin Astrodome, the Daikin Minute Maid Park Enron Field Tropicana Juice Box Dome. I just did some research the other day because I was interested in the naming history of the park, of the Astros ballpark. It was a pretty interesting read. I was thinking about doing a video about it sometime. You guys can let me know if you're interested in that. If you're not interested, I might do the video anyway just because I think it's interesting. If you don't think it's interesting, then you don't have to watch the video. If you do think it's interesting, then you can like, comment, share it with your friends, and tell me how awesome it is. Or something like that. I did make it back to town yesterday and bought some more medicine, some more cough medicine. So I hope that that cough will be knocked out in the next few days, completely knocked out once and for all. I'll be looking forward to getting rid of that permanently. Crispy, excited for this game. What excites you most What excites you most about this game, Crispy? Judy, are you serious? That is really, really generous of you to just throw that out there. I appreciate that. Chris says, tell me what the good stuff is. I grew up with Nova Histine. Where's that medicine box that I have? Where did I put that medicine box? You know how in the U.S. we call it the I've been in Japan too long, I forgot. Generic is what we call it, right? You know how we have the name brand and then we have the generic, right? Well, in Japan they have a different name for it. They call it the store brand, or not the company brand. I don't know how exactly to translate it in English, but maybe they call it like the store brand, or something like that. It sounds a little nicer than generic, right? But once again, you get more medicine, and it's a cheaper price. The one that I got the other day, they're the gel caps, and I only got 24, and I have to take 2 with every meal 3 times a day, so it doesn't last long. You can do the math there. But today I got basically about 36 pills for the same price as 24. The only difference is, besides the amount, is that they're not gel caps. They're regular pills, so they're not fast acting. But I don't think it matters, because once it gets into your system, you don't need it to be fast acting. Just those first 2, maybe. That's my thought process. But I'm not a doctor. Not a doctor. I haven't even watched Doctor Who. I'm not one of those guys, but I do like my tea time. Judy says, seriously, well, that's very generous of you. I will keep that in mind. You never know. Right now, I've got so much going on trying to lay everything out here at my house. I've got 2 issues going on underneath my house. My house in the U.S., I guess you could say it's called a pier and beam house, but that doesn't really describe this house. This is a 200-year-old house, so it's built with stones that are stacked strategically, and wood that is and posts that are chiseled to fit those stones, and it's built up on top of that. And then from there, it's a little difficult to explain how they build it, but it's really well built. Unfortunately, 2 issues: water erosion under the house, and there's a really large tree nearby. It's a maple tree. In Japanese it's called momiji, but if it doesn't get enough water, it starts spreading its roots very wide, horizontally like this. And I found those roots under the house, and it has caused some extra voids or erosion where the earth just goes down. So some of my supports have fallen, and I have 2 central pillars of stones, and one of those has completely collapsed. It doesn't sound good, and that's because it's not good. So I crawled under the house a couple of days ago to look at that and realized there's a lot of stuff I need to do as soon as possible just to stop the bleeding and keep my house from falling down, especially if there's an earthquake. Luckily, this area doesn't have much in the way of earthquakes, and whenever it does, they're pretty light. So I don't think it's I think I have plenty of time to get it fixed, but if I do leave my house right now for the next half a year or something, it's a possibility that it could have a partial collapse before I come back. So I love my house too much to let that happen. So starting this all-star break, when I have several days off in a row from YouTube, I'm going to start cleaning out and organizing these rooms, taking up the floors so I can access underneath and fix that erosion issue. I've got several things to do. One is channel the water off the roof I don't have rain gutters, and so that's dumping a ton of water around the house. I need to address that. Second thing is stop the water from coming in under the house from the back. I've already done 80% of that myself. And the third thing is fill in those eroded areas, pack them down, fill them all the way up, replace the supports, and once I've done all that, my house should be safe for the time being. So that's what I've got planned over the All-Star break. It's going to take me a lot longer than the All-Star break, and I'm going to be filming it and posting it on my other YouTube channel. But actually, tomorrow morning I've got a video premiering in about 6 hours from now, actually, that's going to show what I found underneath my house when I crawled under there day before yesterday. If you guys are interested, you can check it out. It is way too much work, Chris. Yes, it is. Crispy says, I'm excited because we have a chance to win the series against the team I dislike the most. What team is that? I like how you always talk in an indirect way about stuff. It is a much needed win for our players' recovery instead of the Astros' recovery, and the team I dislike the most rather than the Rangers. I like how you indirectly talk about things. It's very interesting. Hunter Brown is on the mound, guys, for the Astros today. He just finished his warm-ups. He's facing Josh Smith, the leadoff batter for the Rangers. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, 97 miles an hour to start it off. Just above the zone. Strike one. Old dog is here early. The early old dog gets the bone. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. 98 too high. 1-1 is the count. Brown's starting off with a little bit of heat. Yes, let's see here. Chris says store brand sounds good. It sounds so much better than generic. Generic sounds like garbage, right? Here's the pitch. Fouled off. 97 on that outside edge. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hunter Brown ahead in the count. Doctor Who was a woman and then black. I can't keep up. You know what? Seriously, I've never watched it. But then again, if you guys knew me, you wouldn't be surprised at all. I just don't watch TV series at all. In the dirt. 90 miles an hour on that changeup. And it was just too low, which makes it 2-2. Smith batting .282 for the season. In this game, he is 0 for 0. About to be 0 for 1 with this strikeout, baby. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Did I call it or what? Caratini is catching today, by the way. Let's take a quick look at the Astros lineup. Paredes is DHing today first. How about that swing and a miss? That's beauty. Kirei desu ne. It's beautiful, isn't it? Paredes is the first batter at DH. He's not going to be at third base today. Covering third base is Dubon. Cam Smith in right field. Altuve at second. Walker at first. Caratini catching. Trammell in center field. Dubon at third base. Here's the next pitch from Hunter Brown to Corey Seager. A little low for ball one. Back to the Astros infield. Cooper Hummel's in left field, and I want to say Martin Short. Zach Short is at shortstop, and here comes the pitch from Hunter Brown. Check swing. He went too far. 96 miles an hour above the zone. 1-1 with 1 out and nobody on. Not even Ghost Man. Not even Space Ghost. Here comes the toss. High and outside. 97 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike. Time to boot the Rangers, says Daryl. I agree. Time to give them the silver boot. Well, not give it to them, but kick them with it. That's what I meant to say. Kick them. Kick them with the silver boot. 3 balls and 1 strike to Corey Seager. Here's the 3-1 pitch. The 10th pitch of the game for Brown. High and outside. That's a walk. 5-pitch walk. Seager heads to first base. Now, Hunter Brown had 3 walks in his last game. You guys probably want to forget this, but he gave up 6 runs. He had 3 walks. Now he has 1 in the first inning. Marcus Semien comes to the plate with 1 runner on and 1 out. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, 97 on the inside. It seems like if Hunter Brown just puts it around the strike zone, he can get swings and misses today. So it's unfortunate to see him throw it out of the zone so much on Seager. 0-1 is the count. Here comes the toss to Semien. Little low. Ball 1. 1-1 is the count. But yeah, Judy, I will say that I appreciate your kind offer. Really, I do. I really do. That's nice. We haven't even met, and you're being so kind, and I appreciate that. Here comes the 1-1 count. Outside. 2 balls. Oh! Thought that was 2 balls, but he says he went too far. A little surprising there. Let's take a look. Woo, that was close. You know, this is a bad angle. I don't know why they give us that angle, because what we need is an angle that's directly across, like parallel from the plate, and they don't give us that angle. It's a little difficult to tell, but anyway, strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That pitch is high, and the count is now even 2-2. Old Dog says rough. Speaking of rough, did you guys see the new Superman movie? Disappointment is the word I would use, other than convoluted. Here's the pitch. This is hit high in the air. Jose Altuve, who's at second base, puts it away. 2 outs. Adolis Garcia comes to the plate, and this is one of those things I really wish that Astro fans would stop doing. Stop booing this guy. He absolutely loves to be the villain in Houston. And whenever he gets a hit, he really sucks it up. They should just be quiet. First pitch to him is way too high. Ball 1, 1-0. 2 outs, runner on first. Old Dog, it would have been nice to see a DP, but a strikeout on Garcia would be even more delicious. Here's the 1-0 pitch. High again. 2 96-mile-per-hour fastballs. Way up out of the zone. 2 balls and no strikes. Hey, Brendan, how's it going? That is a strike. Very top of the zone. 97 miles an hour. He's giving Garcia nothing but high fastballs. 2 balls and 1 strike. I wonder what he's going to throw here. Watch it be a knuckle curve. Here's the pitch. No. 97-mile-per-hour fastball on the outside edge. Strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Okay, guys, what do you want to bet? It's 2-2 with 2 outs. Is he going to throw him another high fastball? Or is he going to throw him a knuckle curve? He's definitely not going to throw him a changeup. He'll crush that. So it's either going to be a knuckle curve or another high fastball. What do you think? Now, sometimes the hubris of a pitcher is to throw a fastball because they want to blow it by him. But sometimes Hunter Brown mixes it up. We'll see. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. High fastball, 98 miles an hour. Fouls it off. He tried to blow it by him. It was not a bad pitch. It was a good pitch. Yeah, it was a high fastball. You're right. Another 2-2 pitch on the way. In just a second, there it is. 97 high. That one was a few inches out of the zone, and he holds back. Full count. Little bit of a battle, a tiny battle. a scuffle, if you will, a skirmish going on. Here's the 3-2 pitch. 96 right in the top of the zone, popped up over to first base. Walker backs up, and he puts it away. Good job. All right, you did your job. 3 away. 1 walk, no hits for Hunter Brown. About 22 pitches in the first inning. That's quite a bit high. Don't want to be pitching so many pitches. If Hunter Brown pitches 20 pitches in every inning, he's not going to be able to get through 5, or maybe 5 at the most. He's going to have to scale it back a little bit. Scale it back, bro. Scale it back. Oh, goodness gracious. Brendan says, I'm so glad some of you guys get a break for the All-Star break. Thank God. Yep. All-Star break is actually going to be a break for me because in a typical month, the Astros play maybe about 35. What? 35. Can you imagine playing 35 games in 1 month? That would be insane. Talk about hardcore. But yeah, I would say 24, 25 games on average, maybe, they play in a month. So I've been going strong now for the past couple of months. I haven't missed any games at all in the past couple of months. I've made it a point to make this my commitment. And even the games like right now, it's 3:22 in the morning. And since I'm living in the countryside at my house, I can change my schedule to suit me however I like. So I don't have to be awake or up or anywhere else at a particular time. I can actually arrange most all of my schedules outside of this or around this. This is my main thing. So when I finish here, if I'm sleepy and tired, I can lie down and go to sleep. If I'm not sleepy, I can go get breakfast, and that's what I plan to do today. When this game is over, I plan to go get some nice breakfast and relax for a little bit. Evaldi's on the... He said that he changed it to an in-play ball, so it winds up being a double for Paredes. They are doing a crew chief review, but it hit below the line. Yep, they said it's confirmed. The ball is in play. A double for Isaac Paredes. The crowd boos, but it's clearly not a home run. So the very first pitch is a double off the top of the wall for Isaac Paredes. Cam Smith coming up to the plate. Scam. He is going to scam the Rangers out of that run. What a great hit on a pitch right down the middle to start this game off. First hit of the game and first swing by the Astros. Here's the first pitch to Cam. Outside, ball 1. One and 0. 39 RBIs, 4th among rookies right now. Opposite field foul ball. 1-1. Yeah, grumble, 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 grumble. Understandable. Understandable. One of the things that I don't quite get is how if it hits that yellow line, it's not a home run. But that one actually was just below the yellow line. High. Cam holds the bat. 2 balls and 1 strike. Yeah, old dog. The crowd booed. They agreed with you. Even after they watched the video, you can clearly see that it hits right below the yellow line, maybe 2 inches below the yellow line. It's close, but not close enough. Low and outside. Hitters count 3-1. Good at bat so far by one Cam Smith. Three balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Oh, that would have been ball 4. Below the zone, 90-mile-per-hour splitter, and he swung it. He swung after it. I guess he was looking for a pitch to swing at, but bad choice. Could have been a walk. Full count on Crank It Up Cam. Here's the pitch. Outside, that's ball 4. All right. Cam gets the walk anyway. Eovaldi not able to find the strike zone there. And that brings up best player on the Astros team and my hero. If you don't know who it is, I'll give you a little hint. Jose. The one athlete on this earth that I want to meet. 7 home runs against Eovaldi. The most he has against any pitcher in the MLB. Here comes the pitch. Grounded off his foot. Strike 1. Now, if I heard correctly, the Astros commentator said that all of Altuve's home runs off Eovaldi have been solo homers. It's amazing and sad at the same time that nobody was on base. Here's the pitch. Grounded down the third baseline, and he's going to throw it over to first. Double play. He steps on the bag and throws over to first. Double play. Runners out on the corners. Cam Smith is still on second base, but we now have 2 outs. Christian Walker comes to the plate. Let's see if we can get him to drive in that run. Here's the pitch. 76 miles an hour on the inside. Swing and a miss. Walker, anything but a strikeout. 42 people following the channel right now, following the live stream, and only 14 likes. Help me out by fixing that. Broken bat hit to the center field. It might drop. It does not. What a great catch by the center fielder who just lays out. That would have earned the Astros the run they needed. But look at this catch. Give credit where credit is due. That was a great catch. Astros just with an unlucky break. Paredes' home run just a few inches shy, turning into a double. And then the Astros can't convert. 1 hit, no runs scored. So we are tied up goose eggs going into the top of the 2nd. So close, yet so far away. Daryl says, I met Jose Altuve. He's an awesome guy. You know what? I envy you, but I'm not surprised. I think that it's easy for anybody to tell that Jose Altuve is an awesome guy. Yeah, old dog. Rangers defense looked pretty good in the first inning. The good thing is that Eovaldi looks pretty shaky. But the Rangers defense so far is pretty solid. So the Astros are going to have to rely on hitting that ball well and not luck. Definitely not luck. Yeah, Chris, I'm with you on these. You said it doesn't mean I like it. I agree. Them's the rules. But I don't like it either. Well, when it doesn't go our way, that is. Alrighty. Hunter Brown, they're talking about his debut back in the day. His first outing was actually against the Rangers. 6 innings pitched, no earned runs, and 5 strikeouts. Nice. Welcome to the MLB. Here's the first pitch. Way too far inside. Almost got him. Wyatt Langford at the plate with the 1-0 count. 23 pitches now for Brown. Here comes the 24th. Too far inside again. 2 balls and no strikes. Yeah, Earl Campbell would have been another guy I wish I could have met. But if I could take a pick of any Oiler, it would be Warren Moon. Just because he was the main guy for me when I was growing up. 95 right in the zone. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Langford takes that one low. 3 balls and 1 strike. Yeah, you're right, Crispy. Evaldi, even though he had a rough inning, he didn't have nearly as many pitches. Ball in the dirt. That's ball 4. Another walk by Hunter Brown. This doesn't bode well unless he gets his control under control. Maybe I can change that too. Unless he gets his placement under control. How about that? 2 walks already in this game for Hunter Brown in 4 batters. Next batter is Evan Carter. The first pitch is way up and in. The knuckle curve. Not even competitive. Not even close to being competitive on that pitch. Here comes a 1-0 pitch. Fouled back. 95 miles an hour in the top of the zone. 1-1 is the count. 41 listening in. Thank you for being here. If you're driving, please be safe. Enjoy the game. Thank you for joining. If you're watching, I also appreciate you. If you're watching and driving, shame on you. Be careful. But please like the video if you have not already. There's a huge discrepancy between viewers and likes. 95, about 1.5 feet above the zone. 2 balls and 1 strike to Evan Carter. The middle of the lineup. Evan Carter batting 6th with a 262 average on the year. Here comes it. Going to be extra bases for sure. They're going to send him home. Here comes the throw all the way home, and he's easily in there. No chance. I don't even know why they sent it home. A double for Evan Carter, and the Rangers are up 1-0. Evan Carter might be on third base, actually, with that throw home. I didn't see it on the screen. Yeah, he got to third. That's a triple. Carter's on third base. First pitch is in there, 97 miles an hour. Strike 1 to Higashioka, who's batting .235 this year. No outs, runner on third. Here comes the pitch. Ground ball to third base. Devon hits Walker at first base for the out. Carter stays at third base. 1 down. Oh, Pastorini. Here comes the pitch. He's showing bunt, and he fouls it into the glove of Caratini. What in the world is he doing there? Alejandro Osuna is at the plate. Strike 1. Look how close he was to that. Does he even know how to bunt? That's dangerous. Put your face that close to the bat. I want to say that's a little special. He tries to bunt again, fouls it off. 0-2. They're trying to bunt the runner home, but he's not doing a very good job. This is a guy that doesn't know how to bunt. Don't make Alejandro Osuna bunt if you are the Rangers coach, because he doesn't know how to do it. If they get him to bunt here again, it's going to be a strikeout. Come on. Come on, bunt. Get the wrong signal. I want to see him try to bunt again. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Nope, he's going to... strike three. It literally looked like they put a Little League batter up there. He tried to bunt twice, didn't know what he was doing, and then he stands there and takes strike three. 3-pitch strikeout for Hunter Brown. That's 2 outs. Hilarious. That's his first time to face Hunter Brown, by the way. All right. Ezekiel Duran is at the plate. Here's the pitch. High on that fastball. Ball 1. And Old Dog, you're right. It's not too early to go to the mound and have a chat with Brown. Yeah, I think that they could have at least given him a break. I mean, Caratini at the very least could have given him a break. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Duran lets that one go low. 2 balls and no strikes. Hunter Brown up to 38 pitches. If he can get out by 40 pitches, he will have shaved a little off his average, but still too much. Here comes the 2-0. Right in there. Lower outside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike. Ayush, you never cease to amaze me. The sky is falling. I have one bad game. The sky is falling. Here's the pitch. The 2-1. Shows bunt. What in the world? That was a terrible bunt. It was like a grounder. Fast ground ball on with 2 outs. A running bunt? Are you kidding me? Strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 40 pitches now for Hunter Brown. Judy says Mariners down 2-1. They're playing the Tigers? Is that right? Are they still playing the Tigers, or are they playing somebody else? And that'll score another run. Opposite field double by Ezekiel Duran. Kind of a bloop hit down the right field line. You can see here it's barely fair. About 1.5 feet. Cam was way too far over. Couldn't get there in time to make a play. Runner on second with 2 outs. 2-0 Rangers. Astros starting this one off a little early. Behind. Fouled off for strike 1. 0-1 against Josh Smith. Top of the batting order is back up already for Hunter Brown, who's up to 42 pitches. Here comes the next toss. Outside edge, called a strike. Upper outer corner. 0-2. Old Dog, that's what I'm thinking. Is the season over? The season's not even quite halfway over. It's almost halfway over. And already the sky is falling. Like a chicken running around with his head cut off. Also, Hader's season is over too, right? Josh Hader. He's done. He's over. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. In the dirt, he's going to get it for out number 3. So Hunter Brown gets another strikeout, but not before getting tagged for 2 runs. Hunter Brown not off to a really great start here. Control is not so great. He does have a few strikeouts. Let's see how many strikeouts he has. Check this out, guys. 45 pitches for Hunter Brown right now. 25 strikes. That's 20 balls. He is almost 50-50 balls and strikes. That's really not good. 1 ground out for Hunter Brown. 1 flyout. He has faced 10 batters in the first 2 innings. Let's take a look at his ERA. 2.33. 2 innings pitched, 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Strikeouts not bad, but the amount of work that he's having to do to get them. Warui desu ne. In Japanese, that means it's bad, isn't it? It's not good. Ii ja arimasen. It means it's not good. Yeah, Abel, I wouldn't have guessed this either. I wouldn't have guessed that Hunter Brown would have started like this, especially after having a less than stellar game his last start. I thought maybe he would be performing a little bit better today, but so far either he's really off or he's just off to a rough start and he'll smooth out, but we don't know yet. It's too early. The Batman Victor Caratini is at the plate. Right now they're showing some highlights of the Batman. His recent exploits as the Batman is robbing other teams. Ha ha ha. Here comes the pitch. Low. The count is even. I didn't see the first pitch because they were too busy showing the highlights, so I didn't know what the first pitch was, but apparently it was a strike. The count is 1-1. Here comes the pitch. Low and inside, ball 2. Good call by the ump. That was about 1.5 inches out of the zone. Ten home runs for Caratini before the All-Star break. How about that? Going to be playable by Langford, and he grabs it and throws it in. 1 away. Caratini stays at first base. Yeah, Crispy, we got to make up for 2 runs, but it's better to make up for 2 runs from the 2nd inning than from the 8th or 9th inning, right? Brendan says Valdez better than Hunter. I don't know about that. I think they're both good. They're different. Here comes a pitch. On the outside edge, strike 1. Yes, it was. Doobie at the plate, batting .259. In the past month and a week, he's got 5 home runs, so he's basically averaging 1 home run a week right now. Whoa! Almost took his face off right there. Eovaldi apparently a little jealous of Dubon's rugged good looks. Actually, he's not. His looks are not rugged. He's more like a pretty boy, right? Dubon has more of the idol image going on than the rugged, manly man look. This is grounded to shortstop. They're going to try for 2, and they get it. Another freaking double play for the Rangers. That's 2 double plays for the Rangers in 2 innings. 3rd to 1st and then 2nd to 1st. 3 up and 3 down. Another hit for the Astros, but Caratini is erased by Dubon's double play ball. 20 pitches for Eovaldi, 13 of those strikes. He has a much easier time, but the Astros are still getting on base. Just not hitting the ball in the right spot. Just getting it to where the Rangers can get their gloves on it. Let's hope they can get it together in the 3rd inning. Speaking of the 3rd inning, the top of the 3rd is upon us. Hunter Brown already up to 45 pitches. If he continues this, he won't be able to get to the 5th inning. He'll have 90 pitches by the time he gets to the end of the 4th. My hope is that he will calm down and pitch less than 15 pitches over the next few innings. But Hunter Brown is not a low pitch count kind of guy. We'll see. Seattle 2, Detroit 2. Tie game. I'm interested to see who you guys are more into in that series. Do you want the Mariners to win and for that to help bring the Tigers closer to the Astros or get the Astros closer to first in the AL? Or do you want the Mariners to lose and stay further away so the Astros can rest more easy in their division? Which one is more important to you? I'm interested to hear what you think about that. Corey Seager is at the plate to face Hunter Brown. Here comes a pitch. Swing and a miss, 96 in the top of the zone. It was nice to see Hunter put that one actually in the zone rather than about 1.5 feet above it. Seager walked his last at bat. Here comes the next pitch. Low, below the zone. 1-1. One ball, one strike. Nobody on. No outs. Here comes the toss. Right in there, but fouled off. Strike 2. Abel says, hopefully our offense shows their true potential. I wish they would do that every game. That'd be nice. Yeah, Crispy, apparently we do love the double play hitting into it this game. 97 in the top of the zone. Fouled off again. The count remains 1-2. Old dog says Rangers and their dirty mitts. Their dirty mitts. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Seager. Way outside. About 1.5 feet off the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brendan says Tigers. Here's the pitch. In the dirt. Full count. Brendan, when you say the Tigers, do you mean that you'd rather see the Tigers win or lose? You'd rather get a chance to overtake the Tigers? Here's the pitch, the full count. Fouled off. 96 in the top of the zone. Count remains full to Corey Seager and the Silver Bullet Band. Chris says, I need a cup of coffee. I'm never going to make it through this game. I'm waiting for the opportunity to make myself a fresh one. It's 3:52 in the morning here, or you could say just in the middle of the night. But the sun was actually going to start rising in less than an hour. Here's the pitch. 96 on the outside, fouled off again. Hunter Brown has a nice fastball, and he can throw a lot of them, but he sure does have to throw a lot of them to get these strikeouts. Old dog says if Seattle wins and we win, if we lose, then Detroit lose too. I hope so. Strike 3. Seager thought he might have a walk. He acted like he was going to throw the bat, but that was right in the outside edge. Called a strike 3 by the ump. Look at this beauty of a pitch. He just put it in the right spot. Seager finally decided not to go after it. And he starts to throw the bat, and he's like, yeah, nah, it's a strike. First pitch to Marcus Semien is low for ball 1. This crowd is dead right now. Absolutely dead in Daikin Park at the moment. Seems like a decent sized crowd for an afternoon game, though. Here's the pitch. Little check swing low. Did he go around? They say no. 2 balls and 0 strikes. Philip says, dumb question. Go for number 1 seed. Win by all means necessary. Philip, did you just say I asked a dumb question? This is hit really hard out to left field. Just foul. Oh my gosh, that was almost a home run. That was crushed. Wow, that was really, really close. Look at that. Just barely missed the foul pole. 2 balls and 1 strike. Hunter Brown got lucky there. We got a break. Here's the 2-1 pitch. A little low. Ball 3. 3-1. Philip, I'm going to put you in timeout for 10 seconds for saying that. Here's the pitch. Right in there. Strike 2. Full count. There's no such thing as a dumb question. Not really. They're only dumb answers. Have you heard that before? Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Hunter Brown picks up another strikeout. 2 up and 2 down. He got lucky on that one. By mere inches, he dodged a home run from Simeon. Adolis Garcia comes to the plate. And the typical boos start up again. It sure would be nice if the Astros fans would stop booing this guy. First pitch is out of the zone for ball 1. 1-0 with 2 outs. Sweet Richard says, what's your latitude in Nippon? Let's see. I'm not sure exactly what it is. Hang on just a second. I can check it in the break. Here's the pitch. Outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Chris, for a second, I had to think there for a second because what you just said, since I've been living in Asia, making a pot of coffee, I think I haven't done that even one time since I've been living here. Fouled off by Garcia, 96 mile per hour fastball, and that's a 2-1 count. I know it sounds crazy, but even though they do have coffee pots here, and some people do get coffee pots, it's just not so common because most people just make 1 cup of coffee and that's it. They'll make 1 cup of coffee maybe in the morning, and then that's it. And then for the rest of the day, they won't drink anymore. So they usually use a pour over. This is hit really hard. That's crushed. That's gone. Adolis Garcia with another home run up on the railroad tracks. 3rd home run against Hunter Brown. And 3-0. So Hunter Brown not able to avoid the home run that time. He avoided it with Simeon. Something going on with Hunter Brown right now. I mean, he's got the knuckle curve and stuff, but the main pitch he throws is that high fastball. Here comes the next pitch. There's another high fastball, 96, but it misses. 1 ball, 1 strike to Wyatt Langford. 2 outs. Yeah, Philip. If you say that I ask dumb questions, I give you 10 seconds timeout. If you say it again, I'll give you 30 seconds of timeout, mister. And I agree, yes, the boos are ridiculous. But you know, what did I say? What did I just say? As soon as he comes to the plate, I said I wish they would stop booing him, Adolis Garcia, because he loves it. He is the bad guy. He's not like Altuve. Altuve still thrives and does well, even though he's getting booed. But Altuve is a wonderful guy. He's not a villain. Adolis Garcia is a villain. And they're treating him like that, and he loves it. He loves it. This has popped up over on the right side. Christian Walker is over. Puts it away for out number 3. The inning is finally over. But Hunter Brown gives up a 3rd earned run. It's 3-0. 3 hits for the Rangers and just as many runs. 2 hits for the Astros. Yet a goose egg on the board. We are down by 3, my fellow Astronians. Well, I agree with you, Crispy. But it matters to me if Brown gives up 30 runs. It does matter to me. I see what you're saying, but if let's say that the Astros gave up 30 runs in a game, which is crazy, but let's say they did. If the Astros in that same game wound up scoring 5 or 6 runs and the other team never had any position players pitching, in other words, all of the pitchers for the other team were actually pitchers and not like rookies but real pitchers, and the Astros still managed to score 5 runs, I'd be happy with the batting, because scoring 5 runs in a game is the minimal that I expect out of the talent that the Astros have. So if they score less than 5, I'm not content, because I know they can do better. But giving up 30 runs, that would be that would definitely be a problem with the pitching. Oh, that's interesting, Chris. You make a pot and drink it in 2 days. My dad would make a pot and drink it in the morning. Anytime I'd go over to my parents' house, my dad would say, "You want me to put on a fresh pot of coffee?" And that means he already has coffee made, and it's sitting on the burner, and it's hot. He might have half a pot left, or a quarter of a pot, or whatever. But having someone come over is like, woohoo, an opportunity for a fresh pot. You know, he'll pour out the old and make a fresh pot. But he had literally had coffee on the burner all day long. He was drinking it all day long. There's no telling how many pots he was drinking all day long. Cooper Hummel at the plate. First pitch is in there for a strike. The second pitch is off the plate for a ball. As we're talking about coffee, I missed the first pitch. My bad. 1-1 is the count. Come on, Stros. Let's goes. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Not like that, Mr. Hummel. That was low and outside. I don't want you to be swinging at that. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hummel right now batting 190. I wonder how many at-bats he's had now with the Astros. I'm going to have to look that up. 190 is not good, but the sample size is not humongous either. Good take. 78 below the zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I agree with you about the coffee pods, Chris, but I don't do coffee pods. I do fresh ground coffee. Sometimes. But coffee grounds, fresh ground coffee, both. Ground out to shortstop for Hummel. One away. Zach Short comes to the plate. The hero of yesterday's game. Let's see if he can do something here in a situation that's not as high pressure. Here comes the first pitch. Right on the outside edge for strike 1. I don't know if you can see this, Chris, on the video, but this is my pour over. It's a ceramic pour over. I put the filter and the coffee grounds in there, and I put it on top of my cup. Short comes up a little short with that tapper to the pitcher. Out number 2. 2 away. Top of the batting order is back up at the plate with Isak the ball Paredes. Had an almost home run earlier right off the bottom of the rail. Astros could not drive him around, so he got stranded on second base like an unwanted baby. So sad. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 1. Well, Patrick, I see what you're saying, but I wouldn't say that they're problems. I would say that the Astros are just in a difficult situation because, think about it, we've got so many new guys in here that we would not even be considering right now. 2 balls and no strikes to Paredes. Here comes the pitch. A little inside, but called strike 1, 2-1. But a lot of these guys that we're bringing in, we would not even be considering bringing in or calling up from AAA. But we've been forced to do it for various reasons. Low and outside, ball 3. 3-1 is the count against Paredes. If you think about it, the Astros have 11 pitchers on the injured list. We have about 16 players overall on the injured list. We are basically tied in MLB for most injured players on the injured list. That is our challenge to overcome. So I don't think we need to lose heart about the second half. We've got guys that are going to be coming back soon. Things are going to turn around. And we're not in a bad place. Think about what we've done up until this point. It's pretty amazing. Right in there, 88 miles an hour for strike 2, 3-2. If you really think about it, we're freaking lucky to be where we're at right now. First in the division. Last game of the first half of the season. Paredes hits this one into the air on the infield. Another fly ball to the infield for Paredes. He's done that so much in this series. Yesterday, I think he flew out to the infield 3 times. 3-0 Rangers. Just 2 hits for the Stros going into the top of the 4th. Is the 4th inning going to be the lockdown inning for Hunter Brown? We will find out momentarily. Stay tuned. Next week. You will find out next week. Chris, I agree with you. Drinking an entire pot of coffee in the morning is not good for you. Now, if it's black coffee, that's not so bad, because if you're not putting milk in your coffee or creamer or any animal fats in your coffee, then your body can absorb all of the antioxidants that are in the black coffee. But when you put like half and half or creamer or milk or anything like that in there, now you can put in almond milk and maybe coconut milk, things like that you can put in your coffee, and that's okay. But if you put any animal fats in there, it actually binds to the molecules in the coffee, and then it's not possible for your body to absorb the vast majority of the antioxidants. Don't ask me how I know this stuff. I'm just, because of my health and wanting to improve myself, I've learned such things. But I do have a fresh batch of coffee grounds right here, and I'm going to pour myself a fresh cup of coffee right now. It is 4:07 in the morning, and you know what that means? It's coffee time. Yeah. If any of you guys have ever seen regular show, yeah. Mordecai and Rigby. What a weird show. Hunter Brown's back on the mound, and very first, Cam Smith. A little lazy there. For someone so fast, he was a little lazy. Runner on second. They're showing bunt. He pulls back, but that's a strike anyway. No balls, 1 strike to Kyle Higashioka. Runner on second. Lead off runner on second base. Yep, Patrick, he was lazy right there. Cam was a little too lazy. He was taking it for granted it was just going to be a single. But good on Carter for hustling. Never stopped running, just kept going. Beat it out. 0-2 is the count against Higashioka. Here's the pitch from Brown. Runner will stop at third. Terrible throw again, all the way home, man. Maybe he could have gone home. Runners on first and third. 2 opposite field hits. Maybe now's time for a visit to the mound. And man, what's the deal with Cam Smith's throws? His throws are way off target right now. Hunter Brown is just way off right now. Please take a break. Give a little chit-chat. We have runners on the corners with no outs. Alejandro Osuna at the plate. He's going to try to bunt again? I hope so. Here's a pitch. Nope, he takes that first pitch for strike 1. Yeah, that's right, Chris. Put the coffee in the fridge. It doesn't start growing things. I have tea in the fridge. Rangers. Osuna has his 5th RBI of the season. 4-0 off 5 hits. Runner on first with 1 out. Ezekiel Duran is at the plate with a runner on first and 1 out. Here's the plate. Here's the pitch, rather. Here's the plate. Sounds like you're at a restaurant. Here's the plate. Enjoy your meal. Way outside, ball 1. Isn't it cool, though, that AAA only has to go across town to join the Astros? Except when they're way out somewhere else, right? Then they have to fly in. That's happened a couple of times. Looks like they're exchanging the pitch comm for Caratini for a new one. Seems like they're good to go now. The count is 1-0 to Duran. Runner on first with 1 out. Here comes the pitch. Hit hard to right field, but it sails out into the crowd. Actually, it hits the net. No souvenir for you. 1-1. Old Dog says he's stepping away from the game for a few. Maybe that'll bring us some luck. I hate to hear that, but maybe it will. Who knows? Strike 2. Up and in. 94 miles an hour. 75 pitches. 76 now for Hunter Brown. Here comes the 77th pitch. The 1-2 to Duran. Duran. In the dirt. That evens the count, 2-2. Asthmatic coffee maker. My coffee maker is just the sound of the water dripping as it goes through and goes into the cup. I gotta keep pouring it in until it's full. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Duran. Strike. 90-mile-per-hour slider outside the zone. Good pitch. Maybe more of those, Mr. Brown, instead of those fastballs that they seem to be destroying. Maybe mix it up a little more. I don't know. I don't know what the pitch mix is, but it seems like he was throwing a lot of fastballs. Josh Smith is at the plate now, but Brown steps off the rubber to reset the pitch clock. 2 away, runner on first. Here in the top of the 4th, another inning of runs given up by Brown. Curveball right in the top of the zone. Strike 1. Hashman, welcome in. Thanks for subscribing. I appreciate you being here. It's tough to be a live play-by-play guy when the Astros are losing or doing poorly. That's a grounder Altuve, who fires it over to first base for out number 3. Rangers add another run. They're just chipping away a little bit at a time. 2 runs here, 1 run there. 2 runs in the 2nd, 1 run in the 3rd, 1 run in the 4th. Hunter Brown up to 80 pitches. Taking a hit to his ERA, 2.45 right now. Goodness gracious alive. That's what my grandmother would say if she were here. Goodness gracious alive. Goodness gracious alive indeed. Phillips says get him out. Yes, he got him out. Grounder to Altuve. Once again, leave it to Jose Altuve. It wasn't a particularly difficult play, but sometimes the foundational plays look a lot easier than what they are. Nathan Eovaldi. Such a strange name. Nathan Eovaldi. Eovaldi. Eo. Il. Japanese pronunciation. E-o. But there is no va in Japanese. It would probably be changed to kind of a ba sound. Eobarudi. Eobarud. And there's no D. G probably. Eobaruji. Eobaruji. Eobaruji is probably what they would pronounce it as. Very interesting to think about. Crank it up, Cam, at the plate. Can Cam make up for his laziness in the field with a big hit here? I certainly hope so. He walked his last at bat. Let's see if he can crush it this time. Check swing, low in the dirt. They say he didn't go. Ho, ho, ho. Who didn't go? Cam Smith, yo. 1-0. Here's the pitch. Oh, a little bit of a delay from Eovaldi. Now here's the pitch. A little outside, ball 2. Good take. Phillips says, get Brown out the game. We might have to do that depending how he goes next inning. Here comes the pitch. Low and outside, ball 3. Close, another good take. Very close to the zone. Snug up next to the zone, actually. It was getting a little fresh with the zone. 3-0. Here's the pitch. Cam takes that on the inside edge for strike 1. Just barely a strike. That one got a little fresh with the zone. Here comes the 3-1. Fouls this one off. 93-mile-per-hour cutter in the outside part of the strike zone. Chris, that's a good question. How long are we expecting Hunter Brown to go? 95 pitches? 100 pitches? That's a good... The entire MLB right now with about 22 infield hits. Mr. 35-year-old Jose Altuve. How about that? He's always got something on his mind. You never know what it's going to be, but we have Christian Walker at the plate with 1 runner on and 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. Here comes the pitch. Right in there. 90 miles an hour cutter. Right in the dead center of the zone. Strike 1. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. 89 miles an hour in the bottom of the zone. Fouled off. 0-2 against Walker. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Eovaldi comes set. And the delivery. Swing and a miss. Strikeout for Christian Walker. How many times do I have to say that? Christian Walker strikes out. Christian Walker strikes out. Christian Walker strikes out. I'm tired of saying that. Maybe I should get an audio clip. 2 away. Altuve on first base. The Batman at the plate. He did have a single earlier, but he could go crush City right here. Here comes the pitch. Fouls it off. 88 miles an hour on the outside edge of the plate. Strike 1. I'm going to take a guess, Chris, on how long Brown goes. He's at 80 pitches right now. I'm going to say that the next inning is his last no matter what. No matter what he does, it's his last inning. He's at 80. He won't be back for the 6th. He might not even make it through the 5th, but he won't do any more than 5 innings in my opinion. Caratini fouls that one off. No, he didn't foul that one off. What am I doing? He took that one for ball 1. 1-1 is the count. Once again, I'm going on what I'm hearing. That sounded like a foul ball. They throw the ball over to first base, and Altuve gets back. The crowd boos a little bit. Black coffee. Good stuff. Here comes the 1-1 to the Batman in the dirt. Scooped up by the catcher. Doing what a catcher is supposed to do. Catch. 2 balls and 1 strike. Come on, Caratini. 88 miles an hour on the inside. Swing and miss. That's very similar to the same pitch. Or rather, it's very similar to the pitch that he swung at on the very first delivery of this at bat, but it was on the outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the toss. And that's out number 3. So, Caratini, the Batman, lets me down. Altuve does get a hit, gets on base, and he is promptly stranded. First 4 innings, the Astros have been all sorts of broken. Hunter Brown giving up 4 runs on 5 hits, including a home run, a monster of a home run by Adolis Garcia. No errors for either team. But the Astros haven't put anything on the board. The first 2 innings looked promising. They had a little base action going on. But since then, haven't really done much of anything. Caratini got a single, got on base, was stranded. Altuve got a bunt single, got on base, was stranded. Other than that, it's been really manageable after that slightly rough start. I mean, the very first pitch at the bottom of the first, Paredes hit it almost out of the park. It was just a couple inches below the yellow line. So it was changed to, or it was actually called a double, an in-play ball. They reviewed it and found out it was the correct call. And then they stranded him. Astros have been stranding their runners. Let's take a look at how many they've left on base so far in the first 4 innings. A total of 7. 7 left on base in this game. Top of the 5th, Corey Seager. Corey Seager at the plate. Hunter Brown at 80 pitches, 49 strikes, 31 balls. Here's the first pitch. 88 miles an hour, low and outside, fouled off by Seager for strike 1. Got no reason to put in Bryce Matthews. He's just a strikeout guy right now. I got no reason to put him in. Here's the pitch. In the dirt, 1 ball and 1 strikes. Yep. Hector Neris is going in the bullpen right now. The season low, they said, for Hunter Brown this year is 5 innings, and he threw 87 pitches. Another one in the dirt, 2 balls and 1 strike. He is now at 83 pitches, so he's four pitches away from getting his season low game. Another one in the dirt, ball 3, 3-1. Seager could probably just stand there and get a walk right now. the way Brown is pitching. Do you really believe that? 3-1 pitch grounded Altuve. He scoops it up, goes to first, out number 1. Jose. Out number 1. That brings up Mr. Marcus Semien. Semien earlier hit a home run ball that was about 2 or 3 inches foul. Here comes the pitch. Low and inside, but strike 1. Good toss. Hunter Brown wound up getting that out. And then in the next at bat, the very next batter was Garcia, and he crushed it out of the park. 0-1 is the count. Here comes the pitch. On the outside and low, ball 1. The count is even. Jason, I have no idea what you're talking about. None of your comments make any sense at all. You're going to have to explain because it makes no sense. Here's the pitch. Low and outside. Did he go? They say he did. Strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yeah, obviously went too far that time. 1 out, nobody on. Here's the 1-2. Strike 3 in the dirt. He's not going to try to run. He's just going to turn around and go back to the dugout in shame. Hang your head, boy. 7 strikeouts for Hunter Brown. And 2 away. First pitch to Adolis Garcia is a little outside for ball 1. 97 mile per hour fastball. 1 for 2 today is Garcia with that towering home run. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Inside. Did he hold up? They say he went around. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ayush, I thought at first you might be sarcastic with that, but I don't see a single logical reason why that would be true. Foul tip into the glove of Caratini for strike 2. The count is 1-2 against Garcia. 2 outs, nobody on. Perhaps you can explain to me why he would do that, Ayush, instead of coming up with conspiracy theories. If you can lay out a good reason why he would do that, then I can believe you. Strike 3. Garcia goes down. A high fastball. So Garcia got the better of Hunter Brown last at bat, but this at bat belongs to Hunter Brown. 92 pitches for Brown, and that's likely his last. 3 up and 3 down. He completes 5 innings. First solid inning he's had the entire game. The first 3 up and 3 down inning. The entire game. Good for you. He finally earns a break. Bottom of the 5th coming up in just a moment. Eovaldi, on the other hand, is cruising along with just 49 pitches. Basically tossing about 12 pitches per inning on average. Pretty darn decent. I would say anything under 10 is really good. Maybe 10 to 12. I mean, 10 is good. But 11 and 12, 13 maybe is decent. But when you start to get up 14, 15 and more per inning on average, it's starting to get a little too high. But Eovaldi's been sitting the Astros down. You just have to wonder, though, how long will he be able to last? We will see. We will find out. Hashman, I'm being absolutely serious. I know that you're new to the channel, But whenever you ask a question like that, can we even come back from being 4 down? When you say that, it makes me suspect that you're not really an Astros fan, that you are a scammer. It's just experience. I know that some people might say, well, how do I know that? Well, because scammers ask the same questions over and over and over again. They don't come up with anything new. And that's one of the questions that's always asked. First pitch is low. Check swing. He does not go around. Taylor Trammell at the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. 50 pitches now for Eovaldi. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Right in there. 88 miles an hour on the splitter, but swing and a miss by Trammell. I know that Trammell can actually hit the ball. He's done that, especially here at Daikin Park. He doesn't have a single hit on the road yet. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the toss. This is hit hard to the right side. A diving catch by the first baseman. Eovaldi covers to get the out. That was rocketed down the line. I'm kind of surprised that the first baseman was playing him right on the line. Look at that. Man, once again, unlucky break for the Astros and good defensive play for the Rangers. Just hasn't been the Astros' day so far. So far. Doobie comes to the plate. Here comes the first pitch. He pulls away from it like it's going to hit him, but that's a curveball right in the inside for a strike. 0-1 is the count. Dubon is 0 for 1 today. Let's make it 1 for 2, baby. Here's the pitch. Way outside, ball 1. The count is even. One and one with 1 out. Nobody on. Here's the toss. Doobie swings at that one 94 miles an hour right in the zone. Fouls it off to the right side. The count is now 1-2. Here comes the next pitch to Dubon. Wow, that one was way down inside, and he hits it straight up in the air. First baseman comes over and grabs it. Duran makes the play. Out number 2. Astros looking right now like they are kind of running on fumes. They need to refuel, prime that pump, and get something going. Cooper Hummel at the plate. Here comes the first pitch to the lefty. Or he's batting lefty anyway. Ball 1. No, I'm sorry. That's a strike. Could have sworn that that was going to be ball 1, but I was wrong. 0-1 is the count. He grounded out his last at bat. Let's see if Hummel can do something slightly better this time. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 90 in the bottom of the zone. 0-2 is the count. Two outs, nobody on. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Eovaldi. Hummel strikes out. Swings and misses. 91 in the bottom of the zone. Almost the same exact pitch in the same exact spot. 3 up and 3 down. Another easy inning. Eovaldi is still under 60 pitches. He's averaging about 11 and a half. About 11 and a half pitches per inning. With that inning, his average actually went down a little bit. So he's been getting better. That's what I thought Hunter Brown was going to do. Start off a little rough and then get better. But Hunter Brown started off rough and just stayed rough. It wasn't into the 5th inning that Hunter Brown was actually able to have a decent inning. His first 4 innings were terrible. He got lucky in the first inning that he didn't give up anything. But they tagged him in the second, third, and the fourth. In the fifth, he had it locked down. But as it stands right now, 5 hits for the Rangers and 4 runs. Good run production ratio there. 3 hits for the Astros and no runs. They did have Hector Neris warming up on the mound. I'm going to take a guess and say that they are bringing him in. But we'll see in just a moment. In mere seconds, we will find out. It is indeed Hector Neris. ERA is not spectacular in 17 innings pitched. Almost 7 right now. He is facing Wyatt Langford. The first pitch on the way, fouled off, 93 miles an hour. 0-1. Neris hasn't done poorly since he's been back with the Astros. 3rd game for him. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. 93 miles an hour, fouled off of Caratini. 0-2 is the count. There's the pitch. Fouled off again. Stays 0-2. Crispy. Yeah, well, the Rangers actually do have some good pitchers. They do. But they should not be getting these types of hits off of our pitchers. This is hit way up in the air. Who's in on it? Altuve. He's got it. And that's going to be out number 1. Langford goes down with the fly out to the infield. We definitely need the run support, especially when we're facing a team like this. This is a strange series because we should be scoring runs and they shouldn't be scoring runs. Well, let me back up. They shouldn't be scoring runs, and it should be difficult for us to score runs because they have some pretty good pitchers. Here's the 0-1 count. Pitch to Evan Carter. Outside. Ball 1. It's now even. 1 out. 1 ball. 1 strike. Nobody on. Here's the pitch. Fouled off. And that one's off Caratini again. He seems okay. 1 ball and 2 strikes. You can see it right here. Boom. Right off his face. He's taking a couple off the face. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from way over on the right side. That's Mr. Short. Zach Short makes the play. Out number 2. Evan Carter goes down, and Kyle Higashioka comes to the plate. Yeah, Chris, I agree. First pitch is in the dirt. 1 ball, no strikes. I'm glad that we get a few days off also. I think the Astros need it. We need time to get better, recover, rest, get recuperated, regroup. 84 miles an hour on that splitter, outside edge, strike 1. The count is even. Also, I need the time to focus on some other things for a few days. Upper outer corner, foul ball, strike 2, 1-2. I was thinking about some things that I could do to post some videos, but I really have some pressing issues to fix in my house, so I might not be doing much. Maybe just some shorts. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. How about that? Hector Neris, 3 up and 3 down. He gets the strikeout. How about that? So far, all 3 of Neris' appearances with the Astros have been pretty good. Glad to see that. Nothing doing for the Rangers in the 6th. Maybe, if we're lucky, the 5th through the 9th, the Rangers are going to be completely dry, and the Astros are going to get to go to the well. Maybe the first half belonged to the Rangers and the second half belongs to the Stros. We'll see. Who is due up for the Astros? I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab something. One moment. Go Stros. Whoops. All right, everyone, I am back. Yeah, Hector Neris with 3 shutouts. 3 innings, 3 shutouts. It's pretty nice. Zach Short at the plate. Leadoff batter for the Stros, and the bottom of the 6th. Ball 1. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Low and outside. Ball 2. Hey, Shoot, how's it going? He says, good to see Javier will begin a rehab assignment. Yep. I would love nothing more than to see Javier come back and really be balls to the wall. A little low and outside, but the umpire liked it. That was a good take, though. Didn't look like a good pitch to me. 2 balls and 1 strike to Zach Short. Here comes the 2-1 pitch from Evaldi. Inside, fouled off down the third baseline. 2-2 is the count. Gordon says, congrats on a first half. Great first half. What do you think Houston will target at the trade deadline? Hopefully pitcher. Starting pitcher. We need a starting pitcher. Really need a starting pitcher, in my opinion. Here's the pitch. This is hit really hard. That's going to be gone. Zach Short with a homer all the way up. Is it on the track? It might be. Finally, 4-1. Zach Short comes through with a home run. How about that? Was not expecting that at all. A towering shot. Towering shot by Zach Short. 4-1 Astros. Look at that. Boom. Breaking ball right in the zone. Right in the lower part of the zone. Yep. Right up there on the railroad track. Zach Short. His first homer. First pitch to Isaac Paredes is on the outside edge for ball. I'm sorry, that's a strike. Strike one. 4-1 now. 4 hits for the Astros. 1 run on the board finally. Here comes the next pitch to Isaac the ball. He fouls that one off. 94 miles per hour on the inside. Yeah, Judy, you're right. Bunch of millionaires playing a little boy's game. That's why even though I love the game and I want to see the Astros do well, I don't allow myself to take it so seriously that I get bent out of shape. Paredes actually strikes out. Don't see that very often. The curveball inside, swing and a miss. Eovaldi actually made pretty quick work of Paredes. That was a strange at-bat. Paredes doesn't typically have such a short at-bat, and he doesn't strike out like that very often. Cam Smith at the plate. This is another guy who could hit it out if he wanted to. That was a terrible pitch on the inside. 2 inches inside, maybe. Called a strike. 0-1. 68 pitches now for Eovaldi. Here comes the 69th. On the outside edge, strike 2. So 1 strike on the inside, 1 strike on the outside. I agree with you, Crispy. If Short can hit a homer, especially like that, that wasn't a short one either. That was not a short. It was not a short homer. That was a short long homer. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Cam. Smith swings and misses. Back to back, 3-pitch strikeouts. Swinging Paredes, swinging Cam Smith. Jose Altuve comes to the plate. Speaking of Altuve, or speaking of home runs rather, Altuve definitely loves the Crawford boxes. He has more than enough ability to put it out there, and he might be swinging for the fences. Sometimes he does when he knows that we need it. There's nobody on with 2 outs. He might be swinging for the Crawford boxes here. Here's the pitch. High and inside, ball 1. Good take. Shake says just a chip off the block. Go Astros. 1-0. Here's the pitch. Up at first base. Another hit for Altuve. 2 out. Runner on first. Altuve has been raising his batting average up. He's up over 280 now. He has been really hot the past couple of weeks. Christian Walker just hit the ball really hard. Hit it into the Crawford boxes, please. He swings and misses. Strike 1, 76 miles an hour on the curveball. 0-1. Fred says 2 straight games. Short has stepped up and produced big time. Yes, we needed the runs yesterday, and we need them today. Here's the pitch to Walker. Low and outside. I'm surprised that wasn't called a strike. Check swing. 1 ball, 1 strike. Altuve is on first base, Mr. Walker. I will remind you that we need 3 more runs to tie it up. Just letting you know. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Eovaldi. Right in there, taken for strike 2. 87 miles per hour. Right in the top of the zone. Perfect hit to be swinging at, Mr. Walker. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the toss. Their strikeout. But at least Zach Short comes through with a homer. Christian Walker with his 1,000th strikeout of the season. 5 hits for the Astros, 5 hits for the Rangers, but the score is 4-1. Those dirty Rangers. Those dirty Rangers. We got 3 more innings of baseball, guys. Assuming the Astros don't take the lead before the ninth, that is. Yeah, old dog says 2 outs just where we want them. You'd think so, but maybe Zach Short kind of jinxed it by hitting the home run too early. Maybe he should have waited. I don't know. He was the leadoff batter. 2 hits in that inning, a homer and a single. Too bad it wasn't in reverse order. That would have been perfect. Perfect. Do they have the Silver Boot trophy? I think right now we're tied. Is that right? We're tied up right now for the Silver Boot. I think we don't give that out until we played all of our games for the season, right? Let's take a look at the schedule. How many more games do we have? We're tied right now. Let's take a look at the second half. Second half. We'll play the Rangers 6 more times. After this game, in the second half of the season, we'll play them 6 more times. But I believe that we're tied right now. If we lose this game, we'll be 1 behind. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's correct. They have shuffled the players around a little bit. It looks like Dubon has been brought to the infield. Throws to first, gets the out on the very first pitch of the inning. Fried Oakert. Change that image on the screen. There we go. Sam Haggerty is pinch hitting for Osuna. Here's the pitch. He shows bunt. He bunts it down the first base side. He's going to get on. Unlike Osuna, apparently Haggerty knows how to bunt. That's kind of ironic. Osuna tries to bunt, doesn't know what he's doing. They pinch hit, bring in another guy with nobody on. He lays down the bunt perfectly. Caratini grabs it, but there's no way to get him out at first base. Nobody there to cover. Runner on first with 1 out. Josh Smith at the plate. That was a little outside, but called a strike. 0-1 is the count. 1 out, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Oh, line drive caught by Oakert. Runner was on the way to second base. And Oakert nabbed it out of the air like it was nothing. How about that? Steven Oakert snatches it out of the air. Man, movements like a cat. Double play by Fried Oakert. He serves up a nice steaming plate. Whether the Rangers want to eat it or not, they are forced to enjoy some Fried Oakert. How about that? Nice double play. I think he had like 4 or 5 pitches that inning, maybe. What an inning. That's got to be nice. That's got to be nice. There's a bit of a break. 7th inning stretch going on right now, guys and gals. I hope you are able to take a break, stretch your legs, get something to sip on or something to munch on, somebody to love, somebody to hug, whatever. Bottom of the 7th coming up in just a moment. Victor Caratini, the Batman, will be due up to bat, followed by Taylor Trammell and then Mauricio Dumont. the middle of the Astros batting order, 5 through 7. Abel says good defensive play. Absolutely it was. It was a really good defensive play. And by Stephen Okert, the pitcher, nonetheless. Old Dog says, if I'm at bat, then I'm ready for any pitch and not watching. Yeah, I mean, I never... Okay, guys, I never played in the MLB. And I never played college ball. I only played baseball up to the high school level, all the way up to through my senior year. I really liked baseball. If I had gone to a baseball school, a real baseball school, and had real baseball coaches, I probably would have continued playing into college. But because of the school that I went to, the only opportunity that I had to play college ball was basketball. And I was offered a scholarship to play in East Texas. However, I turned it down. If I had been offered baseball, I would have taken it. But like I said, the school that I went to didn't have the kind of program and the kind of league that drew the attention of scouts. I was not in a big city, not in a big area, not in a notable high school. But the reason I did not agree to play college basketball is because of the injuries. Professional basketball, the level that you have to play at in order to maintain and sustain and stay in the game, it's absolutely amazing. So much easier to get injured, in my opinion, playing basketball than baseball. I just got tired of it. I had the same injuries over and over again. I had my shoulder pulled out of joint in a game. I had my thumb hyperextended 3 times. I injured my knee. Even a friend of mine injured it in practice one day. It was ridiculous. Victor Caratini's at the plate, fouls this one off over on the left side, and it goes into the crowd for strike 1. I just knew that if I went to play college ball, I was going to have to work my butt off for something I didn't really believe in. I would have loved the opportunity to play college baseball, though. I think that would have been really fun. I would have really enjoyed that, but my parents didn't move us to the right place for it, so that's how it goes. Strike 2 on the outside edge. Check swing, but it doesn't matter. That is a strike. 0-2. Caratini asks for time. He wants to adjust himself a little bit. Oh and 2. Here comes the pitch. In the dirt. Ball 1. 1-2 to the Batman. Yeah, shoot, I would say that his performance this year has been disappointing. Definitely not what I was hoping for, but fouled off by Caratini. The count stays 1-2. You know, I will say this. His batting average right now is .230. And there was a point that was brought up in a podcast the other day, and this is something that I didn't know about at the beginning of the season. But they were talking about, people were saying, if he could just get back to where he was, but he's never been great. He's always just been, kind of so-so. Foul down the first base line. Caratini stays alive. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And if you really kind of go back and look at it, Walker has had some, streaky moments, and he's had some good success here and there, but he's never been a great player. He's just been so-so and sometimes good. Whoa, look at that. Way outside and high. Eovaldi completely lost control of that one. That ball came out of his hand, and I'm not kidding. Take a look at this. That had to have been at least 6 feet off the plate. Here comes the 2-2 pitch to Caratini. That's in the low part of the zone for strike 3. So Caratini goes down looking. You can't be the Batman if you're looking. It reminds me of what old dog just said. If I'm at bat, then I'm ready for any pitch and I'm not watching. Well, Caratini decided to take the opposite route right there, and he was watching all the way. Strike 3, 1 down here in the bottom of the 7th. Taylor Trammell at the plate. First pitch is low and inside in the dirt. 1-0. Fly out and ground out. So Trammell has been improving. He's scaled back a lot on the strikeouts, and now he's grounding out and fouling out and flying out instead. That's good. It's an improvement. This is grounded to the first base side of it, foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. One out, nobody on. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Trammell swings at that one and misses. 87-mile-per-hour splitter right in the zone. Eovaldi's up to 86 pitches. Now, I will say this. The Astros are quite lucky right now that the Rangers are 9.5 games back. Really. Covers, and that will be out number 2. 87 pitches now for Eovaldi. Mauricio Dubon comes to the plate with 2 outs and nobody on. Is he going to give us a little Zach Short action? He grounded into a double play earlier and popped out, but a nice little Crawford box loving would be sweet right now with 2 outs. Here comes the pitch. Right on the outside edge. That could have been a strike, but the catcher failed to frame it properly. The All-Star game is on the 15th. It's a couple of days away. I decided that I will not be streaming it. I don't see any reason to do so. I'd rather be fixing my house. My house needs me. Hit high in the air. Dubon looks defeated. This is going to be called by the shortstop, and it is, and that's out number 3. 1, 2, 3. The Astros go down in the 7th inning. 2 more innings of ball left. It's 5:04 a.m. here. If the Astros don't extend this game with some runs, it's going to be too early for me to go get breakfast at the cafe. They're not going to open until 9 o'clock. It takes me about 45 minutes to drive there. 15 minutes to get ready if I'm slow. Maybe I want to take a morning shower. Maybe I'll do that. I'll take a morning shower. You guys probably don't know this unless you follow my other channel, but I do have an outdoor shower in the backyard. It has a bamboo curtain around it, and you can see the mountain and the forest in the back. Early in the morning, there's a lot of fog. It's nice and cool back there, maybe 70 degrees, maybe 72. Perfect temperature to go outside, look at the mountain, take a hot shower, relax. Feels nice. It's a little difficult during the wintertime, though, to go outside and take a hot shower. During the spring, the summer, and the fall, it's really nice, especially during the fall. Oh my gosh, it feels great to go outside and take a hot shower during the fall. The beautiful colors, all of the leaves changing colors out here on the mountainside. So quiet. Just so nice. Early in the morning, it's so nice because the mountains kind of block the sun for a little while in the morning, and it covers it up a little bit in the evening when the sun's going down. So you just get some beautiful, beautiful views. Nice and cool morning, nice and cool evening. Man, when the sun goes over the mountain, the temperature changes so much. It's so nice out here. Here's the Cam puts it away for out number 1. Take a look at that. Okert is out after 5 pitches. Check that out. Steven Okert came into the game last inning. He pitches 5 pitches. He gets 4 outs. And now they're pulling him out because the next few batters are all righties, so they're bringing in a right-handed pitcher. That's hilarious. Man, can you imagine if Hunter Brown had done that? 4 outs with 5 pitches. Freaking awesome. Freaking awesome. Fried Okert served up, baby. Hot and spicy. Astros Houston says, Konbanwa konnichiwa. Ohayo gozaimasu to you. Good morning to you. It's 5:07 a.m. here. Crispy. Put you in timeout now? If you want timeout, you're gonna have to tell me how long you want. 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes. 30 minutes is going to be a little long. That the game could be over by then unless it goes into extra innings. You can take your pick, sir. Ayush Pena and Jordan and Jake Myers will be back soon. We'll also have some pitching support coming in before the end of the year. Plus Hunter Brown and Valdez will get a much-needed break. Everything's going to be all right. The sky will be there tomorrow. It's not falling on top of us. The Astros have a ton of injuries, guys. How many times do I have to say that? It doesn't matter if a team is better or not. Look at where we are. We are first place in the AL West. Second in the AL, right? Did you think we were going to be there at the All-Star break? Seriously? Did you really think we were going to be there? I guarantee you didn't. But here we are. Nothing to complain about. I have nothing to complain about with the Astros. Nothing at all. Caleb Ort is on the mound for the Stros. First pitch is a little out of the zone. Ball 1. Here's the next pitch. High, ball 2. Come on, Mr. Ort. Let's get the ball in there. Marcus Semien at the plate. 0 for 3 today. You want to see what it's like to be on 30-second timeout? Okay, I'll hook you up. Give me just a moment. Okay, Caratini's going to come out and have a little chit-chat with Ort. All right, Crispy. You asked for it. I'm going to put you in timeout for 30 seconds. Oh, I'm sorry. There is no 30 seconds. It's either 10 seconds or 1 minute. I'll give you 1 minute. You unruly subscriber. You unruly fella. Enjoy your 1 minute timeout. You earned it. Man. 2 balls and no strikes. Here's the pitch to Semien. This is hit hard out to left field, all the way out to the wall, and that's gone. I don't know what in the world Caratini and Ort just talked about, but whatever it was not the right thing. 5-1. Semien gets the home run that he missed by inches earlier. It's got to feel absolutely terrible when you have a meeting on the mound after throwing 2 balls and then the guy hits a home run. Are you kidding me? 5-1 Rangers with 7 hits. Adolis Garcia comes to the plate, but good for the Astros crowd. They're not booing. Maybe they just don't care anymore. They can't be bothered to care to boo for Garcia. First pitch is in there for strike 1. Garcia calls timeout. He's going to back out. Maybe he's bothered right now. He's like, man, they're not booing me. I don't know what to do with this. He's going to have a really terrible at-bat now because they didn't boo him. And gets the 3rd out. Wyatt Langford grounds out on the very first pitch. Ort gives up a 1-run shot to Marcus Semien. But other than that, he shuts it down. Kind of wonder how the inning would have went, or it would have gone if they had left Okert in the game. But we will never know unless there's an alternate universe that we can go to and check it out. If one of you are able to do that, I have some other questions for you. Bottom of the 8th coming up, guys. The Astros have 4 runs to make up. That's the second time that Judy has said that Simeon's monkey. And I think both times Gordon said that it was inappropriate. Is that deja vu, or is that the same exact thing that happened before? Does the word simian literally mean monkey or something? Is that right? Maybe that's why Judy's saying that. I don't know. Yes, Judy is right. Gordon, Gordon, Gordon. The word simian, it literally means, it's an adjective. It literally means related to or affecting apes or monkeys. And as a noun, it means a monkey, an ape or a monkey. Seriously. There's nothing racist about it at all. That's why she's saying it. See, I suspected, since she said it a second time, I suspected perhaps simian means monkey. I are smart. I are one smart feller. All right. Hummel at the plate. Nathan Eovaldi still in the game. That's his 90th pitch, and it was 90 miles an hour. Cooper Hummel, 0 for 2 today. 0-1 is the count. Come on, Hummel. We need a Hummer. Gordon. Never mind. Fouled off for strike 2. The man's name literally means monkey, which is definitely the reason why she said it. Therefore, it's a joke, not racism. Here's the pitch. Fouled off on the first base side. I'm not quote woke. I can take a joke. They do have a reliever going in the bullpen for the Rangers. 92 pitches now for Eovaldi. Here comes the 93rd. 0-2 count to Hummel. Fouls it off. Count remains 0-2. Hey, check it out, guys. Jeremy Pena doing some fielding and doing some running around. How about that? How about that? That's good to see. In the dirt, Hummel holds back. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Chris says, you're making me laugh. Stop it. Is it me? Is it me? Here's the pitch. He grounds it down the first base side. Staying alive. Staying alive. Ah, 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 ah. Staying alive. 1 ball, 2 strikes. No outs. Nobody on. Bottom of the 8th. One of only 2 chances the Astros have at the minimal to tie or take the lead in this game. Here's the pitch. On the outside edge, he rings him up. Could have gone either way, and that ball was clearly outside the zone, but the umpire says, you know what? This guy, he likes striking out. Let's just strike him out again. 2 strikeouts for Hummel today. No hits. "96 pitches for Eovaldi, and he's facing Zach Short, who rung him up for a home run earlier. Ball 1, 1-0. Here comes a 1-0 pitch. right in the bottom of the zone. Strike one. 1-1. Yeah, I agree with Chris. We need some time off to regroup, get our health back. Running on fumes into the All-Star break, but we're in first place. I think that's a big accomplishment for this team. We've been through a lot, and I say we, but it really hasn't been me. I mean, I don't know. I don't allow myself to get so emotional about the losses anymore. It used to really bother me when I would do the live stream and they would lose. It would just bother me for the rest of the day. Not anymore, thank goodness. But swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 100 pitches for Eovaldi. But you know, the team themselves, the team members, the actual players, they have been through a lot. Think about the grueling work. I know they get paid good money, but the injuries and stuff, you know, it's not fun. Fouled off, count remains 1-2. You know that some of these guys like McCullers, they've been through a lot with injuries and all that, and they want to contribute, they want to do good. Sometimes they get out there and they do, and then other times they get blown up. It's got to suck to let your teammates down. Here comes a 1-2 pitch to short. Foul tip into the glove of the catcher, and that's going to be strike 3. 8 strikeouts with that one. Eovaldi's still on the mound. 102 pitches. The All-Star jerseys given out to Hader, Predis, Pena, and Brown earlier today. Actually, they're bringing out Eovaldi. They're not going to let him pitch to Isaac Paredes. So after 102 pitches, he's finally out of the game. He pitches 8 2/3 of an inning. Some of the people in the crowd giving him a hand. He had a phenomenal game. 8 2/3 inning. 5 hits and 1 run. Solid performance against a team with a few hitters who are quite talented. Now, he didn't win against Altuve. Altuve was able to get a couple of hits on him. But actually, he's the only one in the lineup with 2 hits. Paredes got 1 hit. Altuve with 2. Caratini with 1. Short with 1. The only hit that really mattered was the one by Short, which went out of the park. But other than that, he pretty much owned the Astros. 8 strikeouts. Astros have left 8 runners on. That means that we haven't had many opportunities to score runners. We just haven't had runners on base. Yeah, if you look it up, if you look up the word Simeon, but I mean the spelling is slightly different. Let me show you. Yeah, this spelling right here, it's slightly different than Marcus Simeon's name. Just slightly different. But it is correct. It does mean monkey or ape. So it's a funny joke. There's nothing racist about that. If somebody's name is the same as the word for monkey, and you say Simeon is a monkey, it's obviously a joke. So there's no reason to get bent out of shape about it. Sean Armstrong is in the game for the Rangers, facing Isaac the Ball Paredes. Way up and in, ball 1. Sean Armstrong. Here comes the next pitch. Hit way up in the air. Man, I'm just worried that Paredes is going to fly out to the infield again. 1 ball and 1 strike. Paredes needs to start straightening that ball out like he did on the very first at bat of the game. Stop popping it up, bro. Do you know Paredes' favorite drink? Soda pop. Soda pop out. 1-1 is the count. Here comes the pitch from Armstrong. Second base, just shy of a homer. Goal. Just shy of a homer. Yeah, it didn't miss by much. Wow. Just a few feet below the line. Cam Smith at the plate. That's in the top of the zone. 90 miles an hour for strike one. 2 out double for Paredes. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. The 84 mile per hour Swiffer on the outside edge. 0-2. Come on, Cam. Got an opportunity to tack on some runs right here. It's the bottom of the 8th. Swing that bat. Here's the pitch. Fouls it off. 93 miles an hour on the outside edge. Count remains 0-2. Yeah, old dog, I agree. I think Hunter Brown and Eovaldi should have been flipped, right? Here's the pitch. Low and outside, ball 1. 1-2 to Cam Smith. Yeah, Chris, it is really good to see Jeremy, especially not just sitting in the dugout anymore, but actually running around and taking the ball, fielding the ball a little bit and stuff. That's nice. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Cam Smith. Fouled off again. Count remains 1-2. The fast turtle, Isak Paredes on second base. If you guys think that a fast turtle doesn't exist, then you've never seen one of those large snapping turtles. Man, those things are really fast. Here's the pitch. Low and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Good take. Right before I started high school, we lived close to a swamp in Louisiana, and there were some snapping turtles out there that were amazingly fast. On the outside edge, called strike 3. Can you believe that? I will say this, though, once again, first of all, that was a ball, okay? So the umpire gave it to the pitcher. It was a ball. But, that being said, I'm going to rely on what I always say. I think old dog knows what I'm going to say. If it's even close, if it's even just a little close, and you have 2 strikes, you got to swing the freaking bat. You got to swing the bat. You can't stand there and take it. You got to swing the bat. 6 hits for the Astros and 1 run after 8 innings. 7 hits and 5 runs for the Rangers. Astros are down by 4 going into the 9th. We have one more opportunity to come back. Yesterday we were tied, and then we were down by 1. Came back, walked it off, scored 2 runs. Big game. Today we need 5 runs to walk it off, assuming that the Rangers do not score in the 9th. It looks like we might have Brian King in the game. I saw him out in the bullpen. We'll see if he is the choice in just a moment. Old Dog says, does Eovaldi have a record this year? Do you mean like some kind of like leader record? Is that what you mean? Yeah, I don't like Pena. I mean, I don't like Cam batting second. I prefer to have a different lineup. But with Pena out, it kind of, and Myers out, it throws everything off, right? Wow. Colton Gordon is in the outside, ball 1. What in the world is going on? Strange world right now. I guess they wanted a different angle on these batters. Here's the pitch. Inside, he hits it off the fists. Walker can take it himself, and that'll be out number 1. Very interesting decision to bring in Colton Gordon in the 9th inning. Why not, I guess? Why not? Higashioka comes to the plate. 1 single today for him. Here's the pitch. Wow, almost got him on the foot. Ball 1. I'm glad you agree, old dog. It just reminded me of what you said earlier. 2 for 4 with that single. Altuve is out in left field now. Higashioka on first base with 1 out here in the top of the 9th. That's the 8th hit for the Rangers. Takia Arandas. Thank you, Pena. That's the real reason why he hurt his rib. Eating too many tacos. Sam Haggerty is up to the plate. Grounded out his last at bat. He came in as a pinch hitter. Strike 1 in the top of the zone. 0-1 is the count. Is Gordon going to get out of this, or is he going to give us an old-timey jam? Here's the pitch. Low and outside. Ball 1. The count is even. 57 following along right now. You guys are hardcore. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss on the inside. Strike 2. 4-seam fastball, 90 miles an hour. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Colton 45. Flash Gordon. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, 93, up and out. Strike 3. 4-seam fastball. Out number 2, first K for Gordon. How do you like that jam? Toasts, baby. Toast. Some Gordon old-timey jam on that toast. I think they have a pitch clock violation. It might be ball 1. They are discussing the situation with the umpire. I don't know what's going on there. Is that a pitch clock violation? I don't really know what was going on. The umpire was out there waving around and pointing his finger and stuff, and I don't know. Nobody said anything. Low in the zone, fouled off. Strike 1. Well, the count's 0-1. I guess it was not a timer violation. But right now, they're having some kind of interview, so I don't know what's going on. Rangers have a different guy warming up in the bullpen, a left-hander. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Duran fouls it off, 0-2. Come on, Gordon. Serve him up a little jam, baby. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Outside. He holds back. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yeah, some more likes would be nice. Got 1 just now. Woohoo! Old dog speaks. Likes happen. More of that, please. More like magic. Here comes the pitch. The 1-2 in the dirt. 2-2. I'm either going to have a drown my sorrows breakfast this morning, or it's going to be one of those, I can't believe the Astros came back and won this game. 'Cause I don't know what the hell is going on. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. victory breakfasts. Which one is it going to be? Fouled off on the right side. The count remains 2-2. I have a little bit of coffee left. Probably the last cup that I need until I have breakfast later on. But breakfast, man, breakfast is 3.5 hours away. Here's the pitch. Runner goes to second. They're going to let him take it. Wide pitch. Ball 3. The count's full. Full count with 2 outs. Runners, or just runner. I'm sorry. Runner on second. Here's the pitch to Duran. He walked him. He was ahead in the count, 0-2. And he wound up walking him. Now we have runners on first and second. You know what that means. You guys know what that means. That's a Gordon old-timey jam. With a nice sliding catch. Once again, Trammell comes through. He gets us out of the Gordon old-timey jam. I think I can take that off the screen now. Boom. There we go. Gordon had a little bit of trouble that inning, but he's able to get through it without giving up any extra runs, thankfully. The Astros only have 4 runs to get to tie up this game. Easily doable. Easily doable. Altuve is due up in just a moment, followed by Christian Walker. Altuve is 2 for 3 today with a couple of singles. Christian Walker doesn't have any hits today. He has about 100 strikeouts today. But the good thing is that it means he is due. The more strikeouts that Walker has, the better chance that he hits a home run in the next at-bat, and that is the truth. Victor Caratini is in the hole, so that is our lineup if there are no changes. Altuve, Walker, Caratini. Old Dog says pinch hit for Walker. I'm not against that. Hey, you know what? If Corona is available, Kennedy Corona, I'd say bring him in. That would be a big insult. I think that Walker would take that as a big insult, but I'd do it. I would absolutely do it because Corona has been showing so much patience at the plate, discipline, swinging at strikes, making contact, getting walks, laying off the bad pitches. He had the really great at bat yesterday. He was supposed to bunt the ball, but he never got a good pitch, so he never went after it. A lesser bunter with less patience would have been going after that and fouling him off and striking him out. Altuve's at the plate, guys. Sean Armstrong is on the mound. Here's the pitch. He goes after that first one and fouls it off. Strike one. 91 miles an hour on that pitch. Shake the tree, baby. Shake, shake, shake that tree. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Altuve fouls that one off too. 86 miles an hour, low and outside. Strike two. I'm not sure if I would rather Altuve I guess I'd rather him hit a home run instead of get on base. Just hit a homer. That'd be nicer. Way up high, ball one. 1-2 is the count. Shake the freaking tree, man. shake the tree. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Altuve. Here's covers for out number 1. So Altuve grounds out. 1 away. 2 outs away from losing this series. Christian Walker due up. Are they going to let him hit, old dog? Let's see. They do. He's at the plate. 0 for 100 in this game. Outside, ball 1. He does need to change his name to Striker, though. 1-0 is the count. Here comes the pitch. Low and outside. 2-0. Hey, if he walks here, I'll accept that. A base runner with 1 out and the Batman at the plate. I'll take that all day long. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. That is a strike, low and outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Now, I'm going to make a prediction here that I don't want to make. Now that the ball has been thrown a little in the zone, he's going to be swinging no matter what this pitch is. Here comes the 2-1. Wow, he did not go. Good for you. I've got egg all over my face, and it's not even breakfast time yet. 3 balls and 1 strike to Christian Walker. Here comes the 3-1 toss from Armstrong. His arm was strong on that one. 95 right down the middle, swing and a miss. Full count. Walker. I think we're definitely better than this, but once again, guys, I'm not going to be too upset about this. I know that the Astros just lost, and at home, and we lost the series. I get all that, but think about this: the one game that we did win, we had to rely on a brand new guy on the team. He walked it off for us last night. And then that same guy today has the only RBI in this game with a home run. That should give you an idea of how much the Astros need a break right now and how many challenges we have to overcome. I can't be angry with the team. Look at where we're at right now. We are officially finished with the first half of the season. I'm proud of the Astros. I'm proud of where we're at. Last year was really, really difficult. We had to scratch and claw. They had to. I was just a bystander. But they had to scratch and claw for every little inch that they got. And then they got knocked out right off the bat. I mean, we just limped into, if you want to call it the playoffs, we just barely limped in and then got kicked out by a team that was just young and hungry, but definitely not a great team. But we got knocked out very quickly. And this year in several ways was rebuilding, right? It was a rebuilding year. And we had to bring in some guys to try to fill in the gaps. We had no idea what we were going to do, right? And then we started dealing with injuries. We were already missing some guys from the beginning of the year, but then we had other guys go out, and we still haven't gotten them back. And then we had more guys go out. But despite all of that, look where the Astros are right now. I have nothing to complain about. I'm glad about where the Astros are at right now. I'm happy about that. So, no big deal. I'm happy that they're on a break. God bless them. They deserve a rest. And so do we. So do I. Johnny says, that's how it's done, mates. Okay. Dr. DeLay says, 48th like. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate you swinging by. I really do. It's about 5:45 in the morning. So it's about 3 hours before I can go have breakfast. I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to go to sleep and take a nap in the next several minutes. But who knows? I feel a little awake right now. So maybe I'll try to do some cleaning or something. Who knows? Old Dog says Seattle 8, Detroit 4. Well, the good news is that we don't lose any ground on Detroit, but Seattle draws a little closer if they win that game, right? Just as we always do, let's take a really quick look at today's recap. I know you guys probably don't want to hear it, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Just to do a really quick scoring recap of this game. There's no next game to preview because we're not playing again for several days. I think it's around the 19th or so. 18th or 19th we'll be playing the Mariners. Big important series coming up after the All-Star break. Here's the quick scoring summary. Rangers in the top of the second, triple, 1-0. Top of the second, double, 2-0. Top of the third, Rangers, Garcia, homer, 3-0. Top of the fourth, Osuna, sacrifice fly, 4-0. Astros finally, in the bottom of the sixth, Short, his first home run with the Astros, 4-1. That was the only run that the Astros would get. In the top of the eighth, Simeon homered, 5-1, and that's where the score would end right there. Now let's look at the pitching performance. Another rough day for Hunter Brown. Definitely not what Hunter Brown was looking to do, that's for sure. The Rangers only had to use 2 pitchers. Nathan Eovaldi had a really good day. He started off a little rough, but locked it in. 7.2 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 earned run on that homer by Short. 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. 102 pitches, 73 strikes. 1.58 ERA. He had himself a great day against Hunter Brown. Armstrong pitched 1.1 innings. Didn't give up anything. 1 hit, but no runs. The Astros, on the other hand, had 5 pitchers. 2 of those gave up runs. Hunter Brown gave up the bulk of those runs. He gave up 4 in 5 innings on 5 hits, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts. Hunter Brown's stats don't look bad when you look at the hits. I mean, 5 hits in 5 innings, not great, but, 2 walks and 8 strikeouts. It looks good, right? Until you look at the earned runs. 4 earned runs. And the pitch count. 93 pitches in 5 innings, and only 57 of those were strikes. Definitely not on his best game today. Hector Neris pitched 1 inning, had a good inning, 1 strikeout, gave up no hits, no runs. Okert came in and pitched 1.1 innings, 1 hit, no runs. Unfortunately, they pulled him out and brought in Ort, and Ort gave up a hit and a run. That made it 5-1. Gordon came in, got into a little bit of a jam, and then managed to get out of it. He gave up a hit, but no runs. And that's where it ended up today, guys. 5-1, Astros lost. Like I said, the next game for the Astros comes up after the All-Star break versus the Mariners. It's going to be on the 18th. July 18th for you guys and gals. For me, it'll be on the 19th. That is a late evening game. So I will see you here. I've already got that scheduled. If you want a notification, you can go to my live videos. I've already got all of the Mariners games scheduled on my live. So if you go to my live button on my channel, you can click notify me, and it will let you know when the game is getting close to start, when the live stream is getting close to starting. Now let's take a quick look at the scoreboard to see what's going on around the league rather. Anything of important note? Let's see here. Nope. The A's are beating the Blue Jays 2-0 in the 3rd inning. Omoshiroi. Interesting. The Angels and the Diamondbacks are tied up 0-0 in the 3rd inning. Phillies are beating the Padres 1-0. I always want the Phillies to lose. That's why I always mention the Phillies. I want them to lose. The Cubs beat the Stankies 4-1. That's good. Don't like the Curbs, but I like the Stankies even less due to AL positioning. Right now, the Yankees are 53-43. The Astros are 56-40. So we've still got a lead on them. The Tigers lose against the Mariners 8-4. The Tigers are 59-38. If the Astros had won just 50% of these games since the end of the Dodgers series, we would either be tied with the Tigers or possibly even in the lead in the American League. So close yet so far away. I see that the Pirates beat the Twins. Dr. DeLay, if for some reason you're still in the live chat, congratulations to the Pirates. I know that you are a Pirates fan. All right, that's all for all of that junk. Let's take a quick look at the live chat and see if there's anything going on here before I sign off for the day. Crispy says the Astros need to spend the All-Star break in the batting cages, learning how to hit with runners in scoring position. Solo home runs can only get us so many runs. Yeah, they definitely need to focus. And it's not just the Astros as a whole. Certain players have certain things to focus on. I honestly don't know what to say about players like Christian Walker, because Christian Walker is historically a so-so player. He's never been a great player. He's been good at times and bad at times. But overall, it equates to what my Chinese students used to call very so-so. So I don't expect too much out of him. The most that we can expect, or hope for rather, out of Walker is that he goes on a streak. He goes on a hot streak for some length of time or a couple of times in the second half, because he's not overall a solid, good player. So that's just my angle on it. But some of the other players like Yainer Diaz, he needs a little bit more patience at the plate, because overall he could do so much better if he's not chasing those low outside pitches in the dirt. If he can stop doing that, and I know he has the ability to do it because he's done it so many times before, then he'll be right on. He'll be helping the Astros out. We get Yordan back, we get Pena back, we get Myers back. And then we don't have to rely on these younger, inexperienced guys so much. We'll be okay. And more pitching coming in. Chas McCormick, by the way, was supposed to be getting some minor league action, for those of you who don't know that. And I'm not saying that Chas McCormick is an answer, and I'm not saying that Chas McCormick is amazing, but I will tell you this. I kind of feel like I'd rather see Chas McCormick at the plate than Christian Walker. And I know that Chas McCormick is an outfielder. I know he's not an infielder. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that some of these younger guys, like Bryce Matthews, so far I'm not impressed with him. He's just striking out all the time. I would much rather see Chas McCormick any day of the week in the outfield and at the plate than Bryce Matthews. So I'm really glad to see him getting some time in the minors. Hopefully we'll have him as a support guy soon. I wouldn't even be opposed to having Big John back, John Singleton at first base. Give him an opportunity to get in there and bring that lefty bat to first base over Christian Walker. That's just where I'm at right now with Christian Walker. Once again, that's my opinion. It's a hot take, is it? Some of you will probably say, oh, I absolutely agree, that's not a hot take. And some of you will say, no, I think Walker will be okay. It's just an opinion. Crispy says Short is our only all-star. Past couple of days he's been. Abel says, I'm disappointed, but you're right. We've come a long ways, and I'm happy in the place that we're in right now. I thank you. I appreciate that, Abel. I really do. We have come a long ways. It's easy to forget. They say a lifetime to build and a moment to destroy. And think about all of the effort and the hard work that the Astros have put in to get to where they're at. And they have a little breakdown, and this is the moment, right? The moment to destroy. And everybody starts freaking out. I've decided to start ignoring the negative, pointless comments in the chat. Hopefully you guys will appreciate that. We have a few Astros fans, and I appreciate them being here and all of that. I really do. And I want them to have an enjoyable experience here and with the team and with baseball and with life. I really do. In all of those things, I wish everybody nothing but happiness and joy. However, true joy comes from within. And if a person is erupting with negativity on the outside, then it's coming from a place of negativity. And if it's not constructive, if the comments aren't constructive, then I'm just reminding myself to move on. Just look past those. That's not for me to deal with anymore. I'm not that type of guy anymore. I have other things to do with my life that are infinitely more important than bickering with somebody about negative comments. So, anyway, Chris says, have a great time off. Don't work too hard. Thank you very much. I hope you have a really great time. I don't know if you have a break during the All-Star break, but I hope that you have a relaxing and enjoyable time no matter what you're doing or where you are, and that goes for everybody here. Thank you, Jordan, for agreeing. We are like-minded. Great minds think alike. 26 people following along. 23, it's starting to go down. This live stream is practically over. Thank you for the likes. We are one like away from 50. We almost got to 50. Maybe somebody will like it later on and then get it to 50. Who knows? I don't know what the subscribers are right now, but I do know that recently I passed 700. So I do want to say thank you to all of you for getting me to 700. I still have the 1,000 subscriber goal, which is good for the next 5 days. So basically for the next 5 days or so, that's the target. Likely won't happen because there's not really anything going on between now and then. But if you share with your friends and family, you never know what will happen. I'll just leave it to the universe to decide what happens with my channel, and I'm not going to worry about it. I wish you absolutely all the best. I will be posting some shorts and some highlights and some other things. I hope you can enjoy that when it pops up. Much love to you all. Enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening wherever you are. The only thing that there is left to be said is Geaux Stros. Enjoy the All-Star break, and I'll see you again soon, I promise.